The market here in Montana is definitely showing some signs of change. In this video, we're going to tell you what we're seeing and how it's going to affect you if you're going to be a buyer or a seller here in Montana in 2022. So I've been in the real estate business here for a long time, and we've seen the pendulum shift back and forth a few different times now. And right now we're starting to see some change where the pendulum, was way up here for sellers, and it's starting to come back down to benefit buyers a little bit. Buyers are starting to push back. Some sellers are getting a little greedy, and people aren't just paying anything for lots or for houses right now in our area, in all of Montana. We got in this business back in 2008, and it was right before the last big crash happened. And like I've said in a lot of our live videos, I don't think this is going to be a crash like 2008. This is totally different. Back then it was the bankers and the lending practices that started the snowball rolling that ended up with the crash. They're just giving out loans to too many people that couldn't afford it, and that was the cause of it. And then when everybody had these adjustable rate mortgages, and then all of a sudden it came time to refinance your home was not worth what it was 3 years prior when you got your adjustable rate mortgage, and that's what caused the crash. And then we saw a whole bunch of foreclosures. The reason I bring that up is because a lot of people are asking about foreclosures and if we're seeing any and if there's going to be any, and I really don't think there is. I looked this morning on our MLS, and in the entire western half of Montana, there's 2 properties that are owned by banks. Back in 2008, there were 2 on each block, basically. So we don't have foreclosures right now, and I don't foresee that happening like it did in 2008. But I do see we're going to start plateauing here price-wise, and we're going to see more prices start coming down from the craziness that was last year and the year before. I mean, last year at this time, you could throw a property on the market and pretty much ask for anything, and somebody would come along and offer you whatever you wanted. I mean, obviously there were some exceptions, but they were just getting ridiculous prices for things last year. This year, already this spring, we're seeing more houses come on the market than we did last spring. And like I said a second ago, there are people that are, they finally decided, I'm going to cash out and I'm going to win the lottery and I'm going to make millions on my house. And they list it for what may have worked last year, but it's not working anymore. People are getting smart, and they're pushing back, and they're realizing that, this person's trying to win the lottery with their house price. The other thing that came up a lot back in 2008 was short sales. And I don't know if I've done a video or explained this, but what that means is the people that were underwater on their house, say they owed $500,000 on the house. Well, now it's only worth $300,000. The bank, instead of doing a foreclosure, sometimes they would take a short sale, meaning they would sell it for $300,000, and then, even though it was $500 was owed on it, and then obviously the seller got dinged on his, taxes and long story. But again, like foreclosures, I don't think there's going to be a lot of short sales. I mean, maybe if the market does start going way down and people do get underwater that bought very recently, that might happen again. I don't think that will. The problem back with the foreclosure deal is, like, right now, the prices have gone up so much around here. It's almost hard to be underwater unless you were using your house like an ATM machine and taking out refinancing and taking money out of it. Everything is appreciated so much that if you lost your job or you couldn't make payments for whatever reason right now, your house is it should be worth more than what you owe, so it'd be no problem to sell it. So that's why I don't think there'll be a lot of foreclosures, and I think we're going to kind of start to plateau on prices, maybe come down a little, but I don't think it's going to be a big drop like it was in 2008. So I'll take you over to my computer now, and we'll talk about the other reasons for the slowdown and what we're seeing right now. One more reason that I can go over. A lot of people moved up here from the south, and the last 2 winters before this one, the winters were very mild. This one was almost normal. I mean, it was still on the mild side, but it was a lot more harsh than the 2 prior winters, and I know that scared some people out of here. We had a couple of below 0 days, and you know, a lot of snow. In fact, it snowed here 3 days ago, and we're almost in the middle of May. So a lot of people that aren't used to winter, they're also tapping out and putting their houses on the market, and that's why we're seeing more come on the market, or that's part of the reason. Like I said, let's go to my computer and we'll talk about a couple other things that is causing this slowdown and how it could benefit you as a buyer and how you need to prepare if you're a seller. So the first thing we're going to look at here is from our MLS data. We'll look at pending sales, and this has a little bit to do with the lower inventory. But in the past 12 months, you can see in April of 21, there were 11,000 pending sales year to date. And then now in April of 22, there's only 9,300. The other thing that's very telling is the days on market. As you can see the graph here, they're starting to go up like I talked about earlier. And again, it's only, you know, from December, it was an average of 10 days on the market up to now it's 21. So it's basically doubled the time. It's not a lot of time. We're going in the direction that will definitely help you if you're trying to buy a house, that, you know, people are going to have to start coming down on their prices, and there's more competition out there and people are pushing back. So definitely the pendulum swinging back to the buyers. The other huge thing that's affecting all of this are the interest rates. If we look at these charts right here, we'll start out with this one. If you're planning on having a $2,000 monthly payment, back in January, that would have allowed you at the interest rates back then, that would have allowed you to buy a house for $461,296. That would have been a $2,000 monthly payment. Well, now you go up to April, and they've even gone up since then, but that brings it down to your purchase power for a $2,000 monthly payment is now only $367,000 house that you can afford for that payment. And then you go up to a $3,000 monthly payment, same thing. You were able to buy a house for $691,000, and now it's down to $551,000, and it just keeps going up. $4,000, you went from $922 down to $735, and then for a $5,000 monthly payment, you were at $1.1 million, and now it's down to $919,000. All right, well, I hope that explained everything to you, and thank you for watching. And if you want information about buying listings, or if you're thinking about selling and you want a good strategy on how to get it sold and get the most you can for it, give us a call, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information, and don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.